Everyone's given one special thing, right? Everyone's blessed with one special thing. I want you to know I plan on being a star. A big, bright, shining star.
Eddie Adams from Torrance.
Yep.
Jack Horner, filmmaker. I make exotic pictures.
In 1977, a kid from nowhere.
Maybe think about your name.
My name, yeah.
Something a little pizzazz.
Dirk Diggler. Good name.
I like your name a lot.
Had a dream of getting somewhere.
Jack Horner has found something special in newcomer Dirk Diggler.
So let me just pop in this 8-track, and you just give a listen, tell me what you think, okay?
It was a time when disco was king.
These are the ones, these are great.
Yeah, those are really cool. Are they lizard?
No, they're Italian.
What if I told you this next flick picked up 3 Academy Award nominations, original screenplay for director Paul Thomas Anderson, supporting actress for Julianne Moore, and supporting actor for Burt Reynolds? The soundtrack was fantastic. And over time, the movie's reputation only grew, now widely regarded as one of the best films of the 1990s and one of the young director's best. Give me 5 minutes and I'll break it down. Today, Review Lens looks at Boogie Nights, a movie remembered for confidence, swagger, and music. What's often forgotten is how fragile the production actually was. Behind the tracking shots and disco bravado was a cast full of fear, a young director with everything to prove, and a film industry still figuring out how far it could push the subject matter. Paul Thomas Anderson was barely out of his 20s when he made this film, and the pressure showed he was ambitious to the point of obsession. Long takes, complex camera moves, a constant need to prove that this wasn't exploitation, it was cinema. Crew members have since said the set could feel tense, especially during technically demanding sequences where a single mistake meant starting over from the beginning. Mark Wahlberg, still early in his acting career, was deeply insecure about the role. He's admitted he didn't fully understand Dirk Diggler while filming and relied heavily on Anderson's direction. The emotional swings, the nudity, the public vulnerability, all of it created anxiety on set. Wahlberg later distanced himself from the film, which says a lot about how exposed he felt during production. Julianne Moore carried a different weight. Her character's emotional breakdowns weren't easy to compartmentalize, and the infamous drug deal scene pushed her hard. Moore has spoken about how draining the shoot could be, especially in scenes where chaos was staged but emotional truth was required. There was little room for comfort. Burt Reynolds is the most revealing case. He openly clashed with Anderson. Reynolds didn't trust the director's youth, didn't like the lack of traditional coverage, and hated the long takes. He thought the movie was indulgent. Their relationship deteriorated so badly that Reynolds fired his agent for encouraging him to take the role even though it earned him an Oscar nomination. Technologically, Boogie Nights sits at an interesting crossroads. Shot on film at the tail end of the analog era, the movie required extreme precision. Long Steadicam shots weren't stabilized digitally. They were physically exhausting. Lighting large interior sets for continuous movement meant heat, sweat, and limited resets. Film stock was expensive. Mistakes were costly. The nightclub scenes were especially brutal. Loud music, dense extras, smoke, heat, and endless takes to sync camera choreography with performance. Crew fatigue was real. The vibe on screen looks euphoric. The reality was endurance, and yet that tension feeds the movie. Boogie Nights is about a system that promises family, fame, and belonging, then quietly discards people when technology shifts. The move from film to videotape inside the story mirrors the industry's own anxieties in the late 90s. Porn changes, Hollywood changes, stars panic, control disappears. The film works because it understands that confidence is temporary. Every rise contains the seeds of collapse. And behind the smooth camera moves is a movie held together by risk, friction, and people barely keeping it together. That's why Boogie Nights still resonates. It doesn't celebrate excess. It studies it from the inside while the floor is already starting to crack. So that's it for this one. Please subscribe and drop a comment. Do you want more flicks like this? Anyway, please smash that like button and let's show YouTube how much we love Paul Thomas Anderson movies. And as always, see you on the next one. Save us a balcony seat and extra butter on the popcorn, please.